Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a book that has genuinely changed millions of lives, Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements. We're going to break down its core ideas into a super clear, practical guide for you to reclaim your own personal freedom.
Okay, let's start with this idea right here, because it's the foundation for everything else. The book argues that our entire reality, what we think about success, love, even who we are, isn't necessarily the truth. It's more like a collective story, a dream that we've all been taught to believe is real. So before we can even talk about getting free, we have to understand the prison we're in. And it's a tricky one, because most of us don't even know it exists. It's a prison built out of all the beliefs and rules of the world we were born into.
The book has a really specific name for this process: domestication. And yeah, it's pretty much what it sounds like. Just like you train a pet, we're trained from the time we're kids by our parents, our schools, our culture. When we follow the rules, we get a reward, a little praise, some attention, and when we don't, we get punished. So, through this domestication, we each end up with this book of law inside our heads. But here's the wild part. We didn't write this book. It was handed down to us. And yet, this rule book is what governs every single judgment we make about ourselves and about everybody else. And to make sure we follow this book of law, our mind creates two key players. First, there's the inner judge. This is the voice that's constantly measuring us against the rule book and, let's be honest, usually finding us guilty. And then there's the victim, the part of us that has to carry all the blame and shame and punishment from whatever sentence the judge hands down. And this is the devastating result of that system. We make one little mistake, the judge convicts us, and the victim pays the price. But then we remember it again the next day, and we make ourselves pay all over again and again. This endless loop of self-judgment traps us in what the book calls a dream of hell. So the million-dollar question is, how do we wake up from it?
Well, the solution offered isn't to fight the old dream. It's to create a new one. And to do that, we have to consciously break those old, fear-based agreements that drain all our energy and adopt four powerful new ones, agreements that are rooted in love instead of fear.
And these are the four agreements. Now, they sound pretty simple on the surface, right? But each one is an incredibly profound tool. Together, they give us the power to completely transform our inner world from one of fear and self-judgment to one of freedom and, well, joy.
So let's really break these down. We're going to look at each agreement one by one and see what it actually means to put it into practice in our day-to-day lives. All right, the first agreement, this one is huge, maybe the most important of all. Your word is literally the power you have to create your own reality. The book describes it as a kind of magic. You can use it to build the most beautiful things, or you can use it to tear everything down. This is such a powerful way to think about how we talk. Using your words to lift people up, to love yourself and others, that's what the book calls white magic. But using your words to judge, to blame, to spread negativity, that's black magic. And the scary part is, we do it all the time without even thinking about it. And what's the most common form of black magic? Gossip. I mean, just think about that computer virus analogy for a second. It's perfect. When you gossip, you are literally inserting a piece of poison, a virus, into someone's mind, which then just spreads and infects how they see the world and everyone in it.
The second agreement is basically your personal shield. The idea is that nothing, and I mean nothing, other people do is because of you. What they say and what they do is just a projection of their own dream, their own personal book of law. It's always about them, not you. And here is the real gift of this agreement. When you can truly stop taking things personally, you become immune to all that emotional poison. Someone can say the meanest thing to you, but it just can't hurt you if you know it's not actually about you. This creates a massive amount of personal freedom. Oh boy, this one. This is the one that causes so much unnecessary drama in our lives. We have this tendency to just fill in the blanks about everything by making assumptions. The real problem is, we then start to believe our assumptions are the absolute truth, and we end up creating this huge drama over something that wasn't even real in the first place. So what's the fix? Well, it's simple, but it's not always easy. It takes courage. You have to ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask. If you want something from someone, ask for it. Clear communication just dissolves assumptions and prevents so much misunderstanding. And finally, the fourth agreement. This is the one that really makes the other three stick. See, your best is not some fixed thing. It changes all the time. Your best when you're feeling great and healthy is way different from your best when you're sick. The whole point isn't to be perfect. It's just to take action and do your best in whatever moment you're in. This quote just nails the heart of it, doesn't it? Doing your best doesn't mean you have to grind and push yourself until you burn out. It means finding that sweet spot where you actually enjoy the action itself, without just trying to get a reward and without working against yourself. So what happens when you really start living this way? What's the ultimate outcome? You literally transform your personal dream. You stop living in that old dream of hell, and you start creating your own personal heaven right here on Earth. I mean, just imagine what that would actually feel like. You're no longer performing for anyone else's approval. You're not responsible for their opinions. You don't need to control them. You are just finally free to be yourself. Or imagine this, walking through the world with your heart completely open, able to give and receive love without that constant fear of rejection, without needing to be accepted. You're just not afraid to be hurt anymore. And this is where it all leads. You accept your body, you accept your emotions, you accept yourself exactly as you are, right now. You finally understand that you are perfect just as you are. And that is the true beginning of personal freedom. Ultimately, the book leaves us with this powerful question. By adopting these 4 agreements, you can take conscious control of your own dream. You can choose to suffer, or you can choose to love and be happy. It really all begins with that simple choice.